Yo, so let's get to it. You know, back in when I was in high school, I was like a good punch up.
2004.
I,
Yeah.
I was like a good punch up, and when someone's fighting in the yard, you get there and you want to see, you just want to see what's going on.
Mm.
It's always one of those things. It must be part of human nature, like to to see someone get beaten up, like good or bad. Hopefully, it
Mm.
doesn't go too far. No one dies. But someone has a disagreement as a man, heterosexual man, like
It's
we
just
want to lay hands.
entertainment
We,
value.
we want to
Entertainment
lay
value.
hands.
That's all it is.
It is
Yeah,
what it
I
is.
get
Like
it.
this is why the UFC is is great. Basketball in the '80s was great. These days, basketball is a bit soft. Let's call it what it is. It's soft. You know.
Correct. Correct.
So, Malice in the Palace. Let's paint the picture. So two teams, Indiana Pacers and Detroit Pistons, they're pretty much neck to neck in terms of making the playoffs, being the top seeds. You on one side, you basically got the Wallaces. Um, was Rasheem there? Yeah, Rasheem got traded before that.
Rashid
Yeah,
was
Rasheem
there.
was there. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you got Prince and all those guys.
Chauncey.
Yep,
Yep.
and then
Rip.
it was Chauncey on that team. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I watched the documentary, I didn't see that. And then on the other side, you got Reggie Miller, and then you got hand over to Steve Jackson. You got Jermaine O'Neal, and of course Ron Artest. So have you seen it? No spoiler alerts. Let's get to it. So Ajay, what do you think? I guess of this documentary, of um, how they tell the story compared to what we were told before in terms of what the NBA showed us. Um, yeah, and just look at that view. So from I guess my opinion is the Malice in the Palace showed me more of the player side. It showed me more player side on this side of the fence, where when it happened in 2004, it was the NBA like these guys are thugs, these guys are gangsters, they don't deserve to be in the NBA, they deserve to get banned, and because they presented us with this information and being the young age that I was, I just assume okay, cool, they're like troublemakers, they got banned and they deserved it. Yeah.
Mm.
Your thoughts? Your thoughts on the documentary? Just from the players' point of view and the NBA point of view.
Oh, well, I think with a lot of things that I get edited and they get shared on media, and I think it's always one way and it's always biased. But that's why, like, when everyone says there's two tales to the story, there is two tales to the story. That's why I choose to watch all the other interviews by the other players. And they were right because they painted them in a very bad light. Um, but to be real honest, I don't think that would have happened if that beer wasn't thrown. So, and let's get it straight. I mean, there's hockey goons all the time, hockey fights all the time. But do we ever say anything? Do we ever paint them in a bad picture? We don't.
Mm.
But because, I don't want to state into political sides here or any racism, but it's pretty obvious. I mean, my gosh, like I said, hockey fights all the time. We don't say anything about that. And we know hockey, what hockey's all about. Apart from the puck, there's fights. So they paint them in a really bad picture and they get to explain themselves in the documentary. You know what I mean? And it's funny to hear all this, what their sides are. And apparently, like Ron Artest is now good friends with the guy that hit him,
Yeah.
which is another weird thing which I can't explain. But
Hey, his
but
new name is Meta War Peace.
oh yeah, sorry, Metal World Peace. There's another name now. I think I forgot. I'm not gonna have too many damn names. But but it looks like he did the right thing, Ron Artest. He did what he can. He put himself to the side. What he was advised by a psychiatrist. But of course, to anybody, when everything's inflamed and everything's at its tense, when someone throws something at you, it's on. And you can't blame him because that's human nature. He's already fought, then he stopped, but someone had to reignite something again. So he had to go up there and sort him out. And the rest of his team who got his back, which they should try to back him up. So for me, I don't really see that as thuggery or anything like that. Hey, I mean, if people want to get into it like that, they got into it like that. But all I have to do is pretty much say that the security for the palace, that the Malice the Palace wasn't that great, and I don't think they planned it very well, and that's why it escalated that far. But if it was now, I don't think it would escalate that far. I think it would have just, by the time that Ben and Ron went at it, it would have just stopped it from there. But because of the security issues, and I think they hired like old fat guys, and there was only like three of them. I
Three of
mean,
them.
really? Like, what, three versus how many thousands? You
Yeah.
can't stop that.
Yeah.
So, like, I get the players' point of view. They lost millions of dollars. They lost their chance to win a championship for Reggie and for themselves. And of course, we got to put that Jermaine O'Neal was the one who suffered out of everyone there, because the other two won rings. Um, I mean, of course, they all got paid. They still got paid, but the one who suffered was Jermaine, because Jermaine didn't actually get any ring after that. And after
Yeah.
that, it apparently traumatized his relationship with his family, with his kids. So, like, people think that it's all mad and it's all sick, and they asked for it. No, they didn't ask for it. They didn't ask for it because
Yeah.
they were provoked. And that's the thing. Like, with a lot of fights, when people always blame the guy who wants to throw a punch, and then look at the person of what their ethnicity is, which I don't like. You know, you got to look at as well the other side of who provokes it. Okay, that beer was a provoking thing, and anyone would jump onto it. Anyone. No one's gonna hold back on that. Come on, would you?
No, no. Yeah, RJ, let's take it back to, I guess, the play that started it, right? So Indiana was up by, I don't know, 17 points. I think 17
Yeah,
points, if not,
yeah, yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. And Ben Wallace goes up for a dunk or a layup, and then the, he basically gets fouled hard by Artis.
That
Um,
was fueled by
yeah,
Jamal Tinsley. That's right.
yeah. But I, I watched another video that Ben Wallace and Rasheem Wallace released it after the Malice and the Palace got released. There's another side of the story. So Ben Wallace said that he got hit. He got hit before. He got sucker punched by an Indiana player. He didn't want to name him. I haven't looked back into to find out who it was, but he didn't want to get sucker punched again. So that was already in his head, right? So they're gonna smash
Mm.
in his rummy in. He gets a hard foul. Apparently, there's as you know, we still play pickup basketball. If someone's winning by so much, you don't foul and you don't rub it in.
Just let him be.
You let it be, right? So imagine like they had a fast back layup and I was running back and I'm up by 17. I can foul the guy. I can try to block him and maybe foul him. But what's the point? The game's got a minute left. We're gonna win. You know, and the fact that I have history with the guy going up, I'm not gonna foul him because he's gonna end up in a fight. So, so in terms of that, as a basketball person, Ron Artest, or Meta War Peace, what it's called now, I think he was in the wrong, but he fouled him. But then, to his credit, he apologized straight away. I think Ron Artest at the time, he had mental
He
issues,
wasn't
right?
mentally there.
Yeah,
Oh, he had
mentally
a
there.
lot.
Like
He had a lot.
he
Yep, yep,
had
yep.
massive issues, but it's
But
not
Ben
Ben
also
Wallace's.
lost a
Correct.
family member. So yeah.
Correct. See, so it's like a nightmare, right? With these two things happening to these guys. They
Mm.
probably shouldn't be playing basketball. They're not fit enough to play basketball. This is where we talked about the Ben Simmons segment. So
Mm.
in their heads, they're like they're not there. They're angry, whatever, and a couple of things set them off, right? So
That's right.
so you get those two guys at it, and then Ron Artest lies on the bench, and like to a Detroit fan, if I saw that, I would feel that's a bit disrespectful of what
Very,
Ron Artest did. Yeah, like
very.
he
Yeah.
lying down just and letting his teammates fight and literally saying, this is my lounge room. We're up by 17. You know, I've had 5 drinks, and this guy, of the opponent's team, is pretty much rubbing it in our faces. We're having a bad night. My team's
Mm.
losing. And the game's everything's going out of control. There's no cops, no nothing. So I'm here, and I'm gonna throw the beer at the guy. That beer bottle thrown at Artest. I gotta say, that guy should play the lottery. Like the way he threw it and to hit Ron Artest with one shot, man. That was amazing. That's
It
amazing.
was a
There's
good shot and hit
accuracy.
him and
It
it
was a
hit
good
him
shot.
well.
Yeah. But if it was a couple of meters off, centimeters off, then probably it would be no brawl, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So all on the court, you got this testosterone. Everyone's going at each other. To add the element of the crowd and run our tests and all the players running into the crowd, man, that was nuts. Like yeah, they started the brawl. A couple of I saw most of the players go up and try to help, and all the other
Mm.
players got hit by the crowd members, but they didn't fight back. You know, they
Yeah.
pushed them off. It wasn't that dramatic. You know, so then everything gets taken down to the court. Some of the guys like there's a brawl starting. Literally, it's 12 guys plus their staff versus
Mm.
versus the whole. It wasn't in Detroit. It was in
Detroit fan
Auburn Hills.
base.
So it was in Auburn Hills. So then that
Oh
area
yeah.
is that area is known for
That's right.
roughness too, right? So there's a
That's
couple of
right.
things.
That's right.
There's the-
That's right.
all these things are marrying up. All these things are marrying up, like, and it's just a recipe for disaster. You know,
Mhm.
like if
Absolutely.
if a couple of things was if those players weren't playing or they had someone else to help them get through the hard times, they wouldn't be playing, no issue. Then this actions led to different actions, and yeah, and then to see all the players get taken off the court and the crowds just throwing beers and bottles and at them, it's just a disgrace to the NBA, right? Like the
It's the
NBA,
worst fight in NBA history. So,
yeah,
and with good reason. I mean, if you see all the graphic, all the beers and chairs thrown, I'm just thinking, wow, like this is just offhand. Like you just can't believe that it's happening. So
yeah, and to say that this was just a couple of years ago, yeah, and now the rules in place where if you go into the crowd, then you get banned like a couple of games straight away. So I
Mm.
guess this is to stop that. There's heaps more security to block that.
Mm.
Just a couple other points that I wanted to pointed out in the documentary too was I didn't know that actually they had court cases. They went out to
The
get
guy
the
who threw the
innocents.
bee wanted to sue them.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
just
It's
too
crazy,
much.
right? It's crazy. It's
Mm.
one of those things where society where tall poppy syndrome, where someone has something, you know, you want to antagonize them, and then you actually want their money. But if these guys were normal guys on the street and had no money, then it wouldn't be a story. So
That's right.
it's a privilege,
Well,
right?
because
So
they're
it's a
world
privilege.
famous athletes with millions of dollars, you're
Yep.
willing to do that. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
it's crazy. It's crazy, right? So yeah, and yeah, just so the documentary helped me understand the players' point of view. So they went to the Supreme Court, and literally, they were pretty much found innocent. So it was up to the NBA if they wanted to find him.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, David Stern
Yep.
was the executor. Like there wasn't, because it wasn't a off-court issue. The union couldn't have got involved. The
Yeah.
players' union could have got involved. So David Stern, like compared to normal world court, like he was the judge and he was the executor, and there was nothing to basically they couldn't appeal. They basically couldn't appeal what he gave them. You know, like, you know, get to the
Mm.
Supreme Court, getting all that, it's fine. They were innocent, but at the end of the day, the NBA, which was David Stern, the the CEO, the chairman, yeah, he handed out sentences and that's it. Like he just walked away. Called them thugs. Yeah, he didn't.
Change the dress code.
Yeah, change the dress code. Yeah, it was like an opportunity. Like
That's right.
if you went to conspiracy theories, maybe you think that maybe this whole thing was concocted to basically get the NBA to a different level in terms of dress code
Oh,
and you know, hey, that's what people are out
True,
there.
true. Okay, but yeah, all right, fair enough.
Like if they had all these things in place already, but it just fast tracked it. Fast tracked it.
Mm.
Yeah, and as a result, you know, Reggie Miller had a team where they could compete for the title because they were
They
one of the
could've.
top teams, and having all
They
those
had the
players
best record. They had
Yeah,
the best
having-
record.
having all those players banned was it was detrimental to their playoff success. And then the next year, same thing. Like just head cases. Too many head cases in one
Mm.
team. Too many head cases.
True.
Like there wasn't any balance. Even 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 the chairman of the Indiana said that, you know, like he just wanted the best talent. Like he didn't care how they meshed. He just wanted them to be all on the court. Either it's going to be
Mm.
disaster or it's going to be to perfection. So yeah,
Mm.
I really feel bad for Reggie Miller in that aspect.
That was his
Yeah,
one shot.
that was his one
So
shot. Yeah, because Jordan wasn't there anymore, and there's his shot to get through, but didn't happen.
mm,
A couple other points I wanted to put out was when Reggie Miller was helping, I think Jermaine O'Neal get off the court.
mm.
The police were trying to arrest
I was
the
helping Ron
players.
Artest, and
Yeah,
and the security was about to like spray what is it, pepper
yeah.
spray him, and I
Pepper
thought, oh,
spray,
that's
yeah.
not necessary.
Pepper
Yeah,
spray. Reggie Miller,
or
like
taser or
these guys.
something.
Yeah, these guys on the court have uniforms.
Yeah,
They, and the cops wanted to arrest him, but not arrest everyone else like
that's the
in the
thing
whole
that's
stadium.
sus.
Yeah,
That's the thing that's sus. Like that doesn't make sense. I
mm.
mean, come on.
Yeah. So I guess you come to your own conclusions, but there's a difference between those people on the crowd and the people on the court. Yeah,
Mm.
and that's their race. So it's crazy in that situation. We can get deeper into it, but the Malice in the Palace, the documentary, just showed all these angles for you to make up your own mind. So
That's right.
yeah, so for me, it opened my mind to see how Jermaine O'Neal was suffering from it.
Mm.
And to see Steven Jackson, who also played for the Sydney Kings back in the day, to see him like his brotherhood and his friendship. Like he didn't care
Mm.
if you had to take on like 30,000 people, he had your back.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
and that's something I guess I know for yourself and myself that's something that we do for ourselves and our friends and
Yeah,
family
man.
for sure.
That's right.
So
That's right. Yeah.
for sure, yeah. So it's something good to watch in the off season. I'm
Great
happy they made it.
documentary. Oh,
I'm happy they
mm.
made it. I see all those players in different light. Your thoughts on the on that closing off?
It was a well put documentary, and it gave you different angles of what actually happened. But mind you, like I already sort of give people benefit of the doubt unless I had two sides of the story. I don't want to just judge of what the NBA and all that, especially what's happening now. Like we all know what's happening now, so I don't want to judge nobody. People have their reason. So it's good to see that like there's reasoning behind it, which I already knew. I don't want to judge anyone, and I know what happened, so it's fine. It's a well put documentary. Go see it if you haven't seen it. So it's a great documentary.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. So yeah, check it out, guys. Let me know what you think. If you to give it a rating, RJ, what would you give it?
I'd give it 8 out of 10. Like I said, I like all those players. I like Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, whatever you want to call him. I'm a fan of Reggie Miller, a shooter. I'm a fan of Steven Jackson, the way he is as a player and the way he's an activist now. So I'm a fan of all those guys, and it's good to see and good to hear what they say and their sort of take on it. So I'll give it 8 out of 10. It's well put together. But yeah, I never judged them for first place. I didn't think they were thugs. I mean, they were provoked. I knew they were provoked. If they weren't provoked and just went up there, they're thugs. But they're not thugs. So I
Stand up
get
for
it.
themselves. Cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
yeah. So summary, I give it about a 7. I'm a bit harder on my movies and shows, but yeah, it's similar to your to what your comments were in terms of the editing and putting it all together. Just seeing the passion. I like the interviews where they have like the light and then they're kind of in like a nice room and then they focus out. So it's pretty common these days. It's become the standard. So definitely.